Trying to keep the dogs in the garage.
Why is there so many all of a
I've
sudden?
seen one of those.
Yeah, tons of them. Alright, you started, Jesse? Okay. Alright, I've got 5 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order today, Monday, September 15th, 2025. Roll call, we have Selectman Howdy Goodwin, Eric Eaton, Mackenzie Jewett, Kevin Buck, myself, Jamie Thurlow, Town Manager Jesse Dunbar, and Town Clerk Sarah Abbott. Adoption of agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to change on the agenda? Alright, approval of minutes. We have the minutes from September 2nd.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 2nd.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Approval of warrants. We have warrant 24 for $1,360.30, 25 for $17,837.68, warrant 26 for $137,502.03, 27 for $5,855, warrant 28 for $37,141.14, and warrant 29 for $17,226.71.
I motion to approve warrants 24 through 29.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve warrants 24 through 29. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, now we have regular business. The first thing we have is public safety building discussion. Do you want to start with anything, Jesse, or do you want me to give kind of a summary, or?
You can go ahead.
Okay, so basically this is just a summary from everyone that has been involved in either on the EMS committee or the fire department. What do you want to call it? What was our official title? The Public Safety Building Committee. And we looked at a bunch of different options for a building, and the one that the town was brought to our attention that was already existed, everyone looked into, and yeah, just kind of a conversation for everybody on where we are and how we proceed forward.
I'll just add that the purchase and sale that you authorized designates having time to do certain inspections, get reports done. We do not have those right now. The engineer did not start them in August as they had hoped. So like most projects, they've delayed that. So kind of also checking in tonight, we do have in the purchase and sale to get a town vote November 4th. So kind of checking in where everybody is, where everybody's at, as to, are we gonna make that? Do you want to extend that? Do you want to cancel it? What, where are we at with everything? Obviously, there's been a lot of feedback from the fire department as well. Alan sent over this afternoon the assessment of the Wagner property that was typed up, I believe, by Alan from members of Tremont Fire. They joined myself and some ambulance crew members back in July for a tour of the building, and this apparently resulted from their visit there.
Alan, is there anything you'd like to present to the rest of the board as far as what the view is from the building committee?
Sure, actually there was a bit of news that came in this afternoon, and I made a statement on Saturday about CDS grants, and surprisingly I've been reading about CDS grants, which of course is our original approach, and there it turns out 2 CDS grants that would have been one run by HUD and the other by USDA.
Mhm.
And the problem I saw with CDS grants is that Tremont is too wealthy of a community. Our median household income is too high. They get a HUD CDS grant. Turns out for the USDA CDS grant, there is no income limit. And that's actually the grant which is more appropriate for what we're looking at.
Mhm.
So as an alternative, and in fact, November 4th, as a timeline would be kind of good. As an alternative, the town could still apply for a CDS grant next spring. I've been speaking to Carol Woolcott, who's in Senator Collins' office, and she's been really very helpful. We could apply for a grant next spring, and should we get it, it would apply to a new building, and it would fund 75% of the building.
Mhm.
So the money that, we really have two choices then. One, we could spend the money on the property, but that same amount would probably get us a building if we got the grant, which of course is no guarantee.
Mhm.
Anyway, I just learned about that a couple hours ago.
Well, that's pretty good news.
It's great news, yeah.
So my biggest question is, because I hear from some people this day, some people this day, doesn't really matter to me whether we buy that existing building and convert it or build something, as long as we can build something within our budget. And I just wanna know what you guys wanna do. If you don't wanna proceed with this building and we could do this grant, 75%, what, are we still around 6 million for a new building? Is that the idea here?
I don't know, I mean, 4 to 6, I don't know. But you have to go through a design process clearly to get a more accurate estimate. We haven't taken it that far. This was our original approach, and in the early part of the year, the grants that were approved in 2024, which had been funded in 25, were not funded. And so that's what set us on kind of this alternate route, and it was great that an alternative came up, but it looks like the grants now have been funded. If you read Susan Collins' newsletter, you see that she's funded now 7 or 8 departments. And so we don't know the political situation for next year, but if we go through the process, there's a chance that we'll get funded in 26 and then we have money in 27.
So, yeah, so if it's $6 million, it's, our contribution would be 1.5.
1.5 over 6, exactly, yeah, 75%.
And that's, I mean, I think that would be affordable for us, correct?
I think that the only thing, I think you need to get a solid number. I
Well,
think
you-
that,
Sure.
throwing around any numbers is gonna be, you know, Orland built it for this, but as you know, costs double every day with stuff, and I haven't seen anything go down yet, so, it could be 8 million next year, or 10
Right.
million in 5 years, or, you know, no one knows, so,
Sure,
yeah.
but of course
I
you
think-
could say the same thing about retrofitting.
Yes, exactly,
We don't
yeah.
know in both cases, sure,
Mhm.
you're right.
Yeah, no, today's prices are today's prices, and 30 days from now, it's a different price, basically.
And it just seems the vibe from everybody is that they don't want to buy that building. Is that correct?
Agreed.
From the fire department, for sure.
How about the ambulance service?
Yeah, we haven't heard from the ambulance yet.
For us, having that house available for having staff on duty would be a big plus.
Absolutely.
Having a garage to house an ambulance and possibly a vehicle provided to us by a grant for community paramedicine would be a big plus. That said, we're well aware that the fire department has grave concerns about the terrain and other aspects of the building. So, it would be a plus for us, but we're not pushing it because we're in collaboration.
Yeah, we all gotta be on the same page, otherwise we're never gonna get this done.
Yeah.
So,
But
The
that's-
advantage of the Wagner property is that what I already said, and also the timing. How long is it until we get a brand new building? But that may be the more desirable, outcome that you folks decide on.
Yeah, and I think that or I guess I should ask before I say anything. Jesse, you were on the committee for the ambulance service. Do you think there were any other, what were the concerns that were brought, or pluses, minuses? What, I know you weren't focused
Yeah, we weren't
necessarily on
focused.
a building,
Right.
but what are the intentions over the next few years? Cause I know what we got for a message from the ambulance service, correct me if I'm wrong, but was, we need help soon, sooner than later, and that was 6-8 months ago, I'm bad with time, but maybe a year ago now. I wanna know if that has changed, and what, you know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Alan wants to, cause he's on board with the ambulance
Okay.
service. At the last EMS planning committee meeting, they kind of presented their, I guess, decision from those meetings. And so
Mhm.
we've asked them to type that up and submit it, so we can provide it to you and the Southwest Select Board.
Mhm.
So I haven't received that yet, but, if Alan or Randy wants to elaborate on
Yeah.
what the direction EMS, ambulance department is taking.
Yeah.
Well, our board decided, the EMS planning committee, had looked at a number of options and had, some narrowing focus on the idea of hiring a service director, who would be an employee of Southwest Harbor in collaboration with Tremont, and would have the benefit of it being a municipal employee who could participate in the retirement programs and in health insurance programs that were a negative previously when we had a service director. The board, the ambulance board decided that in light of our most recent hire, Teresa Cousins, a service chief, things were going in a much more positive direction operationally, and our greater need was an administrator. And so our focus has shifted to wanting to hire a kind of an executive director who isn't necessarily a paramedic or an expert on EMS, but knows how to run an organization and can take the burden off of, quite frankly, board members who are volunteers and putting in many, many, many hours trying to keep things going. That doesn't really relate a lot to the building. I guess I would be repeating myself if I just said, having a place to house crew members. Right now, we have a place for one person on duty, and if the driver on call is not local, or the number 2 person is not local, they're staying at Kristen's cottage. We don't have a location for a second person right now. So that's an issue we're wrestling with.
So the ambulance service could use that building?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, well, he says yes, you say no.
And we may be looking for a place to park the vehicles. This major,
Hang on,
Am
he's
I-
over there. Why no? And why is Keith whispering?
Why? Okay, the building, that housing component of that
Right.
is functionally obsolete. It's worse than the wharf house you tore down. It would cost so much to repair it and bring it up to code or standard or the foundation or, I mean, I walked through it, it's just a
Okay.
lot of work. It's gonna cost the town a lot of money to fix that just for, when they could have something really nice.
Okay.
They deserve something nice, and this isn't nice.
Could I add one thing, related to the grant? I know it's a longer term project, but I spoke with Andrew Sankey today about this grants also to understand the process more. And when I mentioned the combination of providing both ambulance, housing as well as, public service, the fire station, he thought that actually made our grant more powerful and more likely to get funded. So if in fact, and we're not there yet, but if in fact we could work better with Southwest Harbor, and I don't know how Southwest Harbor people would feel about having this center of the ambulance service Tremont, that if we came to some kind of agreement where perhaps housing was here, and nighttime the ambulance was here, and during the day there's much more traffic in Southwest Harbor, but if we came to an agreement and put that into our application, as well as got Southwest Harbor to say, yes, we're also in favor of this, which right now they probably aren't. But if we could work together and have them also be a proponent, I think our application would be very, very strong. I mean, covering 2 towns, a regional service it'd really go a long way.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sell this by any means. I know the fire department has checked it off already, but, that house is not garbage and everything. I've walked through there and seen it, and, I mean,
I can
that's,
share pictures in the basement.
I know,
It's
but
a wreck. It's a disaster.
it's, yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
I disagree that it's junk too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not perfect by a long stretch, but it doesn't need to be torn down.
I just think the town can't afford the $8 million, so you guys come up with $8 million.
You can come up with $8 million, then
Well,
great.
Yeah,
My
come
concern,
talk to us.
and I've talked with Alan about this a lot, is banking on a grant that we don't know if the town's gonna get. To me, it's kind of a long shot. I know we looked at the last cycle, they awarded, the total grant amount for everything was $12 million. I mean, we're looking at a $6 million building, they're looking at over $4.5 million. I really question whether anyone's gonna award that much of the grant pot to one town. You know, and again, if it happens, I think it's wonderful. I think planning the future on getting that is kind of sketchy. I mean, I've heard several times that everyone's okay in the fire department you've got for 5 years. What happens in 5 years if we don't get any grants? Is it gonna be good for another 5 past that? I mean, and again, I'm not advocating for anything, I'm just really questioning the financing of this. I mean, $1.5 million expense for the town makes a lot more sense to me than a $6 million expense if we don't get any grants, so.
We spoke to Andrew Sankey, he got, grants for Hancock and Swans Island, and he's super excited, knowing that we serve the outer islands, we're the end of the road, we're not a big city, we haven't had any big development, that we're a really good candidate for help.
So has he started that process?
What's that?
Has he started that process?
He's done it, he's got grants
For
from
us.
Hancock. No, you guys, we get delayed with this little Wagner building, we probably could have been moving
So
forward.
Gotcha.
the procedure is, they open up, grant applications every spring
Mm-hmm.
for a very short window.
Sure.
And so our original plan was actually to apply in '26. So even though we've been delayed, we actually haven't lost any time.
Okay.
But it's, it's an application to fill out and a fair amount of work to be done. That's what I'd like to see, that's just my
Hmm.
opinion.
Yes, sir.
Taxpayer and member of the fire department, but is this November 4th timeline realistic, given so many unanswered questions about this? You're gonna commit to this purchase, and I don't even recall the purchase price. Is this timeline realistic with all these unknowns? And, other potential options like Gordius next door, nobody's been in contact with him. His business is closing December 1st, and that seems like a parcel that would be great for the town to have. I think there are a lot of questions instead of just accepting this as a foregone conclusion.
There have been many prior conversations with Gordius's in the past, so. But no, I would say I would not entertain any used building if that seems to be new is the only way to go in the eyes of the fire department, so, probably I would keep the focus on new if you're gonna not do this building. What are we at?
It's too bad. It stinks, right? Like, and a lot of people put a lot of work, and, I mean, they say that the building is a hunk of junk and it's a total tear down. I mean, you've walked through there. And I know we're still waiting for the town engineer to get, his
Yeah.
schedule straight, so I know, yes, there are lots of questions that we don't have answers to, but we have some. And
Mm.
like you said, I mean, if you can come up with a $6 million, then have at it, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah.
So what it would require is, open communication between the town and the fire department, and we've asked, or I have submitted and requested the option of consulting an engineer to give us real numbers and real figures, so we can actually move forward with the grant, but, I could say 6 million, you guys say 3 million. You know, I mean, the lot doesn't need a huge amount of development, but, I think we really need the partnership of the town to put out a request for a proposal, describe what we want, get some real numbers back before we can just throw out numbers in the air, you know, so.
Can I just say something to that? I feel like the town has communicated well, right from day one. I think Jesse has been open and honest. There's been so many meetings, there's been so many conversations. It's really hard when you get one thing here and then you hear something different around town. We've all read the messages, we've all read the text messages that have been sent around, we've all read the emails, and, I mean, I feel like we've communicated on our part. But
So it seems.
I think you don't like our communication,
Yeah,
so that's
no,
where
no,
you're like,
it
we don't
seems
communicate.
like, the town I'm not saying we need control of it, but, and I'm trying to be, I mean, I've told everyone on the board, everyone in that panel has been a lifelong friend of mine, and I don't wanna put people against each other, but when I send, as the fire chief and working my ass off for this option, send a request to the town manager or someone saying, why haven't we hired an engineer, why haven't we sent our proposal, why haven't we got estimates, why don't we have figures? And we don't, I mean, we've been working at this process, we've never gotten a survey next door, we're putting information against information when we don't have hard facts. It's like when a math teacher tells you, I see your numbers, but I don't see your homework. But I think moving forward from this process, we need to set out a plan and stick to the plan. The committee here worked really, really hard to come up with an idea, and then all of a sudden, it was like they were shut down and in limbo. But I mean, maybe that's just my opinion, but I'm perfectly comfortable staying where we're at for whatever duration we need. If we need to build an addition on the Seal Cove station, our agenda, our mission was to partnership with our EMS partners and family here and try to make something really fantastic and fabulous for the next 75 years. But I'm sure I come off pretty blunt, pretty hard at times, but I feel passionate about what we're asking for, and I think everybody's doing a great amount of work to push it. We just, if we move forward or not, we need to set a hard plan and stick to it. It seems like we keep moving the target, so that's what I have to say.
There has been, I know when I was on the committee, we set money aside for Roger to do a plan back then. I mean, that was forever ago. So all this stuff has been pushed forward. There's no miscommunication or whatever else. This stuff has been trying to get done, but people are busy. It's hard to get people to do stuff. Not to pick on you, Roger. I know you're right there. No, survey, but hang on, yeah. Surveyor, any of the stuff, I don't care what it is, you know, any of the stuff that we've asked for to have done is just hard to get, you know, everybody's swamped and busy. So it has been, this building was brought to us midway. There was no change of focus. The only real thing that the committee had come up with was, Jim had done a hen scratching of a building, you know, that was rough, and that's as far as everybody was just trying to get rough numbers, you know, rough ideas, or whether it would even fit on the site that it was. You know, that was the biggest concern, was the site, I think. And that's basically, I think Alan is right on that I don't think this has derailed anything or changed any timelines. I think that we still need to have site surveys and all of this stuff done before you can do any more looking into a new building. Like we set up steps, and those steps haven't even started to begin yet. You know, it's not, Roger, go ahead. I'm not picking on you. I'm picking on you.
I was just gonna say, we decided that it would be a conflict of interest if I did any work, because I was on the committee. That's
Okay.
all. But we did talk, I think, with Greg and threw out a couple names for surveyors.
That's just a way of saying I'm too busy, so can you please find someone else? I get you. But no, that's,
But you have contacted Greg, we're just
yeah.
waiting, yeah.
So this was just an option, and that's all this was, is an option. And we're not trying to force it down your throats. I literally do not care which direction we go, as long as we can afford it. So, we can't do an option that we can't agree on. No matter what, it's not gonna work. So, if that's the route that we wanna go, let's do it. Keep working towards the new building, keep working towards the grants, and let's get it done. But there's no future in arguing about a structure and trying to make it happen if no one wants it, or half the people want it. So, that's where I'm at.
A bunch of us toured the new fire station in Orland, and that seems like that's pretty much on the scale with what we're shooting for, correct?
Maybe bigger than what we need.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
That was
Okay.
$4 million.
I think it was 4.8 they
Other
told
than
us,
the
yeah, that's what I'm,
Housing component, it's a lot more than what this little town needs.
okay, but the housing component would probably kick that out. By the way, on the housing, my understanding is if it's a separate building, it doesn't need to have the whole facility equipped with fire sprinklers. That's only if you're housing it. So to me, the chance of someone tripping, walking a walkway between two buildings is well worth avoiding the cost of a sprinkler system.
Yeah, but I would still strong, I mean, we, the town of Tremont, we have $4.5 million worth of assets sitting in that truck, and that's okay, so for the, whatever Brad Reed told us off the top, $150,000 to put a sprinkler system in that.
I thought the quotes I was hearing were well over 100.
Yeah, that was the one that
I
we
think
got
it was over
from,
2, actually.
well, I don't know, if it was from an engineer,
So you
we'll just say
put
from.
one in a house in McGregor Park,
Yeah.
similar housing developed situation with Reed's, put it in there. And it was $28,000 for the housing component, and so he figured 50 to do the entire structure. But we had to have water storage and that sort of thing, but I think it'd be cheap money to bring it up to, I mean, it's a public building, it should comply with all state and local codes, even though Tremont doesn't require it, it should be held to that certain standard, if we're gonna have people stay the night in it, but I think it's a cheap investment, and all the insurance companies like it.
Yeah, I will say through this process, one thing I'd like to get off my chest is that I have been very disappointed in how some of the members of the fire department have conducted themselves towards the select board. I feel that we tried to bring this plan to you as an option, and I felt like it's something that you could talk through. You know, these are the pros, these are the cons, we decide positives, we decide negatives, and we work together. And some of, you know, there's been numerous members that are really, you know, going to above and beyond to really put it to us as far as like we're trying to cram something down your throat, which that's not the option at all. You know, what we're doing is we're trying to put an option out there. We're trying to save taxpayers money. That's our job. If you don't like the building, that's fine, but you've got to at least be open enough to entertain the ideas and look at the pros and cons of it. You can't just shut down and that's it.
Well, can I say, I asked you personally if I can be involved. I've been in construction for 30 years, licensed realtor for 27 years. I didn't want any input from me. And you personally said if that building at Wagner's could be under $4 million, that's what we're going with. I'm like, so that was just.
I don't think that
Well,
was ever said.
It's on the video, I
No.
watched it, cause I wanna make sure I wasn't gonna accuse you of something, but
Yeah.
it's just like, why, our input and our volunteer time is just like stuck with a boathouse when we really need a public safety building. I love you all, whatever, but I'm unfiltered and I'll be honest with you, I'll sit down, have a beer with you, and I'll also tell you my opinion, but we
Yep.
don't mean that in disrespect, that's all it is.
Well, it just seems like that weighing through pros and cons versus, you know, yeah, it definitely. I'd like to see that in a meeting. I think you tell me the meeting and I'll view it myself.
Yeah, I was sitting right next to that.
Okay.
But, yeah, so, and at some point, yeah, I'd like to apologize too, but I'd like to see some apologies reciprocated and talk about that. So, same pushback like this way, so if I'm having this tension to you guys, it's because 7 years of, we just can't seem to do enough and put it in value, so moving forward, I absolutely promise you to this very moment in front of everybody that I will be more respectful to every one of you and just ask for the same backwards.
Thanks, and yeah, no, there's no way that we're ever gonna accomplish anything, if we can't work together. That's the bottom line. It'll never happen.
That's why we're all in the same room today.
Yep.
Because we need to work together and do what's best for the town, and we can't jack our taxes way up. We cannot do that. So, that's where we're at. So, like I said before, I'm in favor of either path, and it seems to me that building the new place is the path, so I'm good with it.
Yep. Just don't bring forward another used building in a month, 'cause I don't wanna hear about it. Anybody else's input here? Okay, Jesse, do you want what do you want from us? Anything more, or you want us to make some sort of decision on record, or do we wait until next meeting, or what do you want?
Well, you just need to, if you're not going to proceed with the building, you obviously need to notify Mike of that, so the contract has, goals in it, like taking it to a town vote, so I guess if you make a motion that you're not going to take it to a town vote, then I would cancel the contract.
Should we wait until next meeting to do that, or do you guys? What do you guys? Yeah, put it on the agenda.
Yeah, I'd like to think about it a little bit.
Okay.
That's all.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Okay, sounds good.
can I just?
Yes, Alan.
It would make our application stronger if there was a commitment from the town to fund the portion that would be our portion. I know other towns have done that at a town meeting, but if you were already planning, a vote, that would be a great time to get a sense of the town, whether or not the citizens of the town want to spend that money as part of the grant. That's important for the application.
We don't even know what that number is, though.
Yeah.
So it's hard for us to take
Yeah,
a
I know.
number
Well,
to.
And we can't design the building either, because if you design the building, then you can't get the grant, so.
I understand, but we have some number, we have, it's $1 million or $1.5 million, or whatever.
Mhm.
But however you wanna do it, I'm just saying that would make our grant proposal stronger if we could say, oh yeah, 80% of the town said, yes, let's do this. And the town then has a commitment that if the grant were offered, that we would be able to pay our way.
So we would have to put a cap on the amount that we
Could
felt
do that,
comfortable.
Yeah.
And then if it goes over that, then we can't build it. Or we have to figure out a different way to
That's not
find
how the
funding.
warrant article works, though, right?
Yeah. Example, the Swans Island.
Yeah, well, this was actually, in Swans Island, they had a unanimous vote, and they thought that was an important part of their package. And you don't really know how it's decided, but you gotta put a lot of stuff into it, getting recommendations from the people, but having the town commitment is an important part of it.
Sorry, is it required, or did you just say it's stronger? I thought.
I think it makes it stronger. I haven't gone through the whole application yet.
Okay.
How much do we have set?
If it's required.
I'm sorry. We have close to
I
$500,000.
think commitment may be required.
We have close to $500,000 set aside already, right? Correct.
It's like 4, right around 4.
Okay, that was,
How much a year do we put into that?
Yeah.
I'd say once we get to 1.5, then put our stamp on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, we can put it on for next meeting and then
yeah.
decide. It's up to you guys.
I just don't know how that works, as far as like a vote, like we take this in November and ask What?
I mean, if the application isn't until the spring, I mean, why would you want?
Why would you do it in
I mean, you
November?
could do some more due diligence before actually
Yeah.
going for a vote.
Could we do a
Why?
spring vote?
I was gonna say, it has to be, the vote has to be before the application.
It's part of the package,
Okay.
and it's not trivial to put this grant together, so.
But you're gonna, either way, you're gonna have to have a special town meeting, because the ballot has been printed
For November.
for November.
Yeah.
So whether it's November fourth or January fifteenth, you're gonna
Okay.
need a special town meeting to vote.
What is the window for the grant applications?
They haven't announced it yet, so it's generally 3 or so weeks, probably in April.
Okay, so before the springtime meeting.
Right,
Yeah.
before our town meeting.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, we were already kind of a little out of cycle, even in our original plan, because by the time the committee really got going, we'd already passed through town meeting, so
Yeah.
we really need something that fall anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we, I mean, we have enough time, if we have to do a special town meeting anyway, so it has to be done for there, then we can set it up for December, January, you know, whenever we want to, so I don't see that we need to, I think if you guys wanna go with a new building, then the committee has gotta start doing some work here again to see, find out even where it's gonna go, make sure it'll fit on there, have some sort of a rough structure, outline, like, at least that's my opinion,
Yeah.
like, we need to
Yeah,
have
we need
something, you know,
something. Yeah.
something, yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's gonna be, it's gonna have to be based on the cost per square foot.
Yes, yeah.
Of
Yeah.
a similar construction, so.
If we just have something to bring before we can say, yeah, we're gonna stamp our approval on anything, then just a rough,
Well, it would be nice to have the number of bays you need, what
Yeah.
other kind of facilities you
We have,
need.
that's all in the spec that I gave you
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
months ago.
they have that, it's
Yeah.
just a matter of fitting it on the lot, making
Okay.
sure it fits,
Some
and
kind
then
of footprint.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then, the living quarters I know was separate, and that might have to get tamed down some to stay anyways near budget, and, yeah.
The living quarters in the new station, if it's built from the ground up, are separate?
Yes,
Isn't that one of the problems at the Wagner building? The living quarters are separate?
I think, yeah, it was on the list here, yeah.
All right, I'm just-
It's connected, it's not in the same bay as the engine.
Yeah.
The boat.
It's part of the
There's a
same
big
building.
push for not having contaminated gear and equipment in-house. You can't have housing attached, it can be attached to the station, but it can't be included in the station for decontamination exposures. So, and it's not permissible to have it in the same bays, but there's a vestibule between the design that they had that's isolated
Gotcha.
for clean area, dirty area.
I'd put it separate anyway, cause then you don't need to have a sprinkler system on your trucks if you don't want it. I mean, I know you want one, but the price that I was hearing is a lot different than that, so if time you put it in storage tanks and, you get up in 150,000 or something, then that might look pretty nice to not have that in there.
Well, it's too early to be.
Yeah, no, I know,
That's not where we're at.
yeah,
Pretty embarrassing to have a fire station burned down too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they push it. With batteries and charging trucks.
did Orland have one in theirs?
I could afford it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
paid for it, they didn't apply for a grant, a small port town like Portland, the chief said, they paid it, they did a 20-year bond for $3.5 million, and they pay $144,000 a year.
Yep.
That's what they did, it comes out of taxation.
Yep. All right, any more discussion on this before we move to the next thing?
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, oh, and not to leave out the ambulance service in this as well. Is there any way is there any other spots that we could think of to help out the ambulance service? I'm just thinking in the meantime, we should put that in the back of our head if there's, you know, if this building is not used, is there anywhere else we could, put up a small building for them to house an ambulance or whatever for the time being, just
Okay.
think. That's all.
We'd be grateful for any suggestions.
Yeah, okay, yep,
And we'll try to follow up.
okay, alright. Alright, thank you. Next we have, town truck replacement. I think we've talked about Mackenzie's favorite topic a
I
lot
like
lately.
trucks.
Truck 9, the oldest, 550, has had a whole bunch of wiring issues, all kinds of issues. And then it's right out here. I went and looked at it before, a couple days ago, just to see. I thought that it would be a great idea to save the body, to put it on a new truck, to save ourselves some money. Well, you might want to take a look at it, because there's nothing left of the body. It might be stainless, but it has a steel subframe, and you can stick your finger through it. So, that truck is in pretty rustic condition, to say the least. The rust is coming out a bit everywhere, so I think, my opinion, I would wave that one on down the road and start fresh with something else. We have prices in here of a Dodge and a Chevy. They didn't give you back a Ford bid?
No.
No, okay. Yeah, is there anything you wanna add to that, by the way, besides just, if anybody has any questions, go take a look at it, cause it needs a little bit of about everything, I would say, honestly. Like, I think you could throw 15,000 at that and it, not even blink an eye.
I just wanted to make a comment, the prices that you're looking at, on the sheets, they gave the price for the truck and then the price for the dump body. Those prices came from the dealer and those are from Bangor Truck Equipment. And as some of you well know, we've had horrible walk-in service with Bangor Truck Equipment, so I am not recommending that you get the body as quoted, just the truck chassis itself, and then, we would get, the body from Allied, which has been doing standard repairs. It came in around the same 13 something, I think.
So this looks like to me that the Dodge is 76,000 plus 12,000, and this one looks like the Chevy is 77,000 with the body.
The Dodge is 67,989
Yeah, this is
town
this
price.
If you look at the two Bear trucks, Eric, you've got, yeah, the Dodge is 67.9 and the Chevy is 63.6, basically. They're your two trucks. So it's $4,000 less for the Chevy.
The difference is though, the Chevy has an 11-foot bed and has to have an 11-foot, and the Ram can have a 9. That's
Yep.
the difference.
Also, if it matters, the Chevy is a 2024, the
Yep.
Ram's a 26, both new, but one's 2 years newer.
Putting a sander on it, Jesse.
Yeah. The existing, yeah.
Shot at the end.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the weight.
Not a chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
2 years difference in truck is probably worth the $4,000.
Yeah.
I would think, in the,
You can-
and one thing I know, cause everybody knows that I like Dodge now, but that 8-speed torque flight, so the one thing Dodge has had for issues is their transmissions. They started in 25 and the new one's putting ZF transmissions in, which if anybody, Eric would know, Audi, the ZF is a very heavy duty transmission, so you're getting a Freightliner transmission in a, pickup truck. I know, Chevy's had Allison for years, but, Allisons are they're good too, but that's been like the one downfall, I think, with Dodges. But I don't care if it's a Chevy or what it is, I say, whatever saves us money. Only thing I'd worry about is that back bed. If that was shorter, I'd say save the $4,000
Right.
and,
Yeah, but that longer, all the weight's right on the back.
yeah,
With that sander on it,
yeah. And they're giving, I will say that Quirk has given us a good cut again on
Yeah.
both of them. You look at the
Yeah.
markdown on both and that's very good price.
Yep. It's actually, just as a point of interest, the Dodge we bought last year, we paid 69, so
Wow.
2,000 less.
do we have in the truck fund? $250, you said? Roughly.
It's definitely around.
And we could get this truck soon, like before winter.
Yeah,
on
but
the
then
lot.
it's
Okay.
gotta go have all the
That's
hook,
another
that's,
story. Oh,
last,
okay.
remember, we bought this last year, and it was about 3 months
yeah.
later before we got the truck sitting here all equipped.
That was the biggest issue with the
Right.
little truck.
Yeah, yeah.
And not to mention they had to go back because they hooked it up wrong.
Yeah.
Several times.
In, I know Howdy and I have talked, I think it was the last meeting, that we had talked about, do we need the third truck? And the only thing I keep going back to is both of the big trucks are older. We've kind of patched those together to get what use we can out of them. And that 550 has had issues,
Yeah.
quite a few. And if we end up, that thing breaks down and you're stuck with one pickup truck in the middle of winter, you'd be up the creek without a paddle. So I think that's the only, I don't feel like that I'd be comfortable, without having that truck at least, and then if the Ford has an issue again, then good enough. It's, you know, it has an issue and then we can choose to replace it then. At least we'd have 2 brand new trucks then, or newer trucks.
227.
I'm good with the Dodge.
I'm good with the Dodge. You need to clean them, make sure they stay clean, so they don't
Did
rust
you see I
out.
washed that nasty old truck over there? No
That's
dirt on
good.
it now?
That's good. Keep them clean.
Yeah, and that one, I mean, the list that,
Go forever, it's a Ford.
oh no, it probably will, Timmy, but the headlights stay on, the blinkers don't work, I know that's optional. It's a perfect town truck, or not, I shouldn't say town truck, around town truck for somebody.
Island truck.
An island truck, yes.
306,000 miles.
Yeah.
It'll be available for purchase.
Yeah, yeah, that's
One
right.
for that, 270, one for that, 312.
We can make a deal
Yeah.
if you need it.
Yeah.
Pay us $7 when you have a truck. Down to 3 mile.
Really? Yeah. And then, of course, it's gonna be additional costs, so I don't know how you wanna do that as far as, we could approve the truck, but then we're gonna need to have a quote from Allied, exactly.
I have one on the steel,
But not
it's
stainless.
13, yeah, so,
I know, I'd like to just
If you want-
compare how much the stainless, if it was only a little bit,
I mean, you can authorize me up to what you're comfortable with if you want,
yeah.
and then you'll have to go back.
And then also you've gotta do plow gear. So you're gonna have to have someone do I'd have Quirk,
Push it over, yeah.
Quirk do it, don't,
We
take it
usually can
where
just
we
do
did
that
last
with the plow and sander maintenance
Okay.
line. Switching it over.
I just don't want the headaches that they had last year.
Right.
I'm taking I'm hooking the battery and everything else, cause it wasn't, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to go through that again, that was a mess.
Yeah. So Allied, which we've been using for the
Mhm.
bigger trucks and stuff, and they have had, I don't remember which truck, they've had one of the small ones down there. They're more, their focus is municipal trucks and equipment, so.
Howdy, how much more would you pay for a stainless body? If it was, I bet the price isn't gonna be a ton difference, just cause of, you look at like stainless plows now, it's not as much as you think, because of it takes time to paint and get everything done.
I bet it'd be a third more. You tell me?
Really, yeah. If it was, what if we just said if it was like, would you say it was for a steel
Yeah,
13?
pulling it up right now, it's.
That'd be 17,000.
So it was 13.9, but that was an 11-foot, he said deduct 12.50 for a 9-foot. So.
11,850.
12.6, so what if we say 15.6? That'd be, is that you know, that's like our top level.
I would stick with the steel body.
Steel?
Steel
Okay.
body's gonna last as long as the truck is.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as they
Take care of it.
take care of it, pressure wash it,
Paint it.
yeah,
I mean,
undercoat it.
Same thing's gonna happen with stainless, it's gonna have a steel.
Yeah, if it has a steel subframe, there's no point, there's no
Right.
real benefit to it, I will agree with that 100%. Cause when I looked at this one, I was like, what? It's got a steel subframe, well, that doesn't do you any good. So yeah, I'd say go with the steel body then. So we'll say, would you say 12.6?
Yep.
Okay.
12.6 from Allied.
Right, just up to 13, right? Is what
Yeah.
you want.
Yep.
Yep.
And truck would be
Up to
Quirk
13.
for 67,989.
You want two separate motions?
It can be one.
Yeah. So that's a little over 80,000. I didn't write the numbers down, but
I'd just say the 67 whatever for the truck and then do up to 13 from Allied, and that way it's kind of
okay.
two separate.
I vote to authorize the town manager to purchase 2026 Dodge for $67,989 and a steel body for it at up to 13,000.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to authorize the town manager to purchase a 2026 Dodge 550 for the amount of $67,989 and to include a steel body from Allied Equipment in the amount of up to $13,000. Sound good? Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, next we have winter sand bids. Last year, the sand bid was awarded to Doug Gott and Sons at $10.80. And this year, Timmy has held the price the same. So, per the purchasing policy, we are not required to seek bids, if they held their price. And we're happy with their service and products.
You will see in your memo, there was a lot of questions about when we were gonna get bids, so I told everybody in September. Then I spoke to Tim, and he said that he was holding his price, so I did notify him when I asked again that we were not seeking bids for that purpose, which I need to disclose that we're not, because we're getting the same price from the prior contractor. Beachfront Properties did drop off a price on my desk, while I was in a meeting down here. That is in your packet, because I didn't wanna not disclose that price to you and have, them upset that it wasn't shared. But yes, Timmy's holding the price, and they did know that when they dropped off their price.
And also Timmy brings his loader down and mixes the salt in for us at that same price, and
Yep.
and if we break down, he gives us a
Yep.
backhoe to use or whatever, so that's worth quite a bit. For
He's-
5 cents.
He's here.
Right.
They're not.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And they knew Timmy's price before they dropped.
Yes, cause they knew what it was last year.
Okay.
We good?
Yep.
Yep.
I make a motion, we award the winter sand, Doug Gott and Son for $10.80 a yard.
Second.
Then moved and seconded to award the FY 26 sand contract to Doug Gott and Sons in the amount of $10.80 per yard. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Thank you, Timmy.
Thanks. All right, next we have surplus property sale. We have 5 windows that came out of the Wharf House. We're not using them for any purpose? Sure?
Unless you want me to for something.
You never know. I mean,
Pop them in the fire station.
I was gonna say something like that.
Yeah.
Simmer down, Jesse, simmer down.
I'm gonna make a motion to authorize the town manager to advertise the 5 surplus windows for sale by sealed bid.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the town manager to advertise the 5 surplus windows for sale by sealed bid. Is there any discussion?
Do you know what kind they are?
Oh, gosh.
No, they were like Andersons, they were
Yeah.
decent windows.
Or Mac-
I looked at them before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know they're all new.
yeah, no,
They are.
they were a decent window, that's why we were,
Yeah,
He said
because we're
take
still
them
on
out.
Windows.
Yeah.
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 I thought Tyler might use them on the new, Harbor Masters.
He doesn't need any more projects.
No. Alright, all those in favor? Next, we have General Assistance Ordinance Appendices A through H.
This is just your annual requirement to adopt the updated appendices A through H, following a public hearing, which will be at your October sixth meeting.
I make a motion to adopt and sign the October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026 appendices A through H of the General Assistance Ordinance pending a public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt and sign the October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026 appendices A through H of the General Assistance Ordinance pending a public hearing. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Right, next we have heating oil, for the 25-26 heating oil prices. We have Coastal Energy at $2.47 and No Frills Oil at $2.59. And last year we had Coastal, right?
Yep,
That's right.
248.
Yep. Down a penny. Well, one thing did go right. I correct myself. Earlier, I said nothing goes down when I said about, building a new fire station. Look, it went down a penny. Look at that.
I'll make a motion to award the 25-26 heating oil contract to Coastal Energy at the cost of $2.47 a gallon.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to award the 2025-2026 heating oil contract to Coastal Energy at a price of $2.47 a gallon. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, next we have the town manager's report.
All right. So over the last couple of weeks, I had a meeting via Zoom with Inland Fisheries and Wildlife regarding the potential deer hunt plan. That will be before you, probably at one of your October meetings, to kind of go over next steps on drafting the plan. He did send over, some plans, I believe, Eastport and Swans Island, as well as a draft plan that Bar Harbor had apparently, looked at in 2016. One thing I will add now, just so you can think about it, the state had kind of initially suggested that the better approach would be that the plan approach it as it's safe to hunt in Tremont, not a deer or a problem and we wanna limit the deer. Which I get the point of that, but having reviewed the 3 plans he sent over, which I'll provide to you at your next meeting, it was very clear in the way they were drafted that the community wanted this because of the deer problem and it went over the discussions. So I really feel like that is currently what's going on here, so to not say that, isn't an accurate representation of, what the community is wanting, so, that'll be at one of your October meetings. I had to check in with Alan Fior and Sarah White regarding the, First Responder Day, which is past Saturday. Prepped for the September League of Towns meeting prep for this meeting, had a Zoom, with the attorneys regarding the Cousins case, and conducted the town's quarterly safety Sarah's here.
Sarah put a lot more effort into it, making it happen, but it was, I felt really happy that people went home. Sarah, you put a lot of time into it, we should talk.
Yeah, we've been planning a year for this, and, it went as planned. It went really well. We were very pleased with how it all went, so.
Yep, and I think they, I don't know if the number changed by the end, but they gave out,
What's that?
at least 42 vouchers for fire extinguishers and
Yeah, I think it was 60, almost
60,
60.
okay, so it went up, and fire
I don't know.
blankets
Still
as
a lot.
well, we'll give them
I think you
for a
brought it.
small
Okay.
donation to the fire department.
Good, thank you guys for doing that.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
Well,
thank you. So,
good turnout.
Alan was the biggest, I have to say. Fan.
Office staff was busy, with the clerk webinar, BMV reports, ballot, election prep, processing tax payments. Public Works completed a slip, trip, and fall inspection, of the building, did maintenance on the John Deere. Town garage reorganization, mowed the ice rink parking lot, for the event Saturday. Installed, new signposts for the Hillrest Cemetery sign. Disposed of trash at Hillrest and Back Beach, replaced, power steering hose on the John Deere. Finished ditching a request on Cape Road, cleaned up some around the grounds of the town garage. I had a list of stuff for them to do, in advance of the event Saturday. And truck 4 standard maintenance. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be attending the League of Towns meeting, working on the deer plan and beginning initial steps of FY '27 budget.
just get through budget season this time.
Yeah, you
I
starts
know.
all over.
It's ridiculous.
And one thing I'll just add, it's in your packet, an additional memo is on the, left-hand side of your packet regarding the senior tax rebate program, just the annual update for you. You've processed to date, 34 residents qualified for the tax assistant program the town established, receiving refund checks to apply towards their FY '26 property taxes. Those refunds total $21,194. Average refund received was $623. Highest was $750.
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
Yes.
All right, suggestions for the next meeting.
We got that, the rooms scheduled for, well, I got contacted, Holly Eaton would like to meet with us, 4 o'clock at the town office here on October 7th.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a conflict, yeah, it always helps sometimes.
Yeah.
Her and Gary Friedman planning on doing a meeting in Southwest. They'd like to meet here earlier, so. Our state representative, for those of you who don't know who she is.
Yeah.
It's on the schedule.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
before our meeting? That's at.
It's the day after.
It's the day after, so it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday, October 7th, 4 o'clock.
Tell her Monday would be better at 4 o'clock.
Say, we'll be here Monday at
I
5.
did what I could.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Date of the next meeting.
I'll make a motion to confirm the date of the next meeting for Monday, October 6th at 5 PM at the town office.
Second. Been moved and seconded to confirm the date of the next meeting for Monday, October 6th, 5 PM at the town office. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Next, we have an executive session entitled Personnel Matters.
I make a motion to find that public discussion of these personnel matters could be reasonably expected to cause damage to the employee's reputation and or to violate the employee's privacy rights, and therefore to go into executive session to discuss the employment, appointment, assignment, duties, promotion, demotions, compensation, evaluation, disciplining, resignation, and or dismissal of an individual, a group of public officials, appointees, or employees as permitted by 1 MRSA 405.6.a.
Second?
Would you also like to include town attorney James Collier in the executive session.
Yeah, and to include town attorney James Collier.
Okay. Mackenzie, you second
Yeah,
that?
sure,
Okay.
yes.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to go into executive session titled Personnel Matters and to include Town Attorney James Collier, as read by Kevin. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, we are out of executive session at 7:05. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Did anyone set the date of the next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, I gotta make sure.
Maybe it's next May